Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make your own taser from a fly zapper. This will be around a 3000 volt taser. Generally you use them to hit flies out of the air. They get trapped in there and it shocks them. You can see you charge it up like that, discharge it. Pretty good spark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the high voltage generator from this and I'm going to use it to make my own taser. First part, take out the batteries. I've already removed these screws. So these are your leads here. One side is ground and the other is positive. You have two wires here because you have some wire on both sides. But you only need one of them. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut the wires here. I'm going to remove this. Don't need that anymore. And I need to strip these wires down. So here I'm going to solder on some extra wire just to make each of the wires more accessible. And remember, you only need to use one of these blue wires. Okay, I'll cover these with some electrical tape. You want to make sure they're covered. You don't have to solder these, but I just did it to hold them in place. But do cover them with electrical tape because if you don't, they'll probably short out and touch each other. Okay. That should do it. And like I said, this other blue one you don't need to worry about. But put these up here. Put this back together. Oh, don't forget my button. This is the button to charge it. There we go. Okay, let's check and see if it works. Yep. 3000 volts right there. Okay, to show you that this is high voltage but low amps, I can't measure the voltage on this because the voltage is too high. This can't go up to 3000 volts. But I can measure the amps going through it. I have this on the milliamp setting. Push my button here. I have my leads hooked up. Oh, actually I don't. Hook this up here. Okay, now I have them hooked up. Around 3.8 milliamps going through it. So that's not a lot. That is enough to kill you if it went directly through your heart. If it goes through other parts of your body, it'll just give you a good jolt. So you could touch these and you'll be fine and give you a good jolt, but not kill you. But be careful, because it probably could still kill you. Okay, now that we have our high voltage generator built, we can learn a little bit about electric fields. So first, if I just have these alligator clips connected, notice how close I have to bring them before I get a spark. And it's not that big of a spark. That's because in order for a spark to occur, the electric field has to be strong enough so that the dielectric breakdown of air occurs. So when you have a curved surface, the electric field isn't as intense because every surface is curved, so you don't get a buildup of electric field lines around the corners. But if you can get some pointier surfaces, then you can get some buildup of electric field lines so that the dielectric breakdown of air will occur and you'll get a bigger spark. But if we use some very pointy objects, like these pins here, then you can get some good sparks. So this is the same voltage each time, but you have a stronger electric field because of the pointy surfaces. So I've dimmed the lights here so we can see this a little better. What I'm going to try to do is get a pretty steady buildup of plasma around the tips of the pins here. See it glowing on the tip of the pin? Look at that. So there's charges transferring through the air there that's generating a lot of energy and making a plasma between the tips. Right there. So what a plasma is the nitrogen and oxygen in the air actually get stripped of their electrons, so it suddenly becomes conductive. So the electrons transfer directly from one pin to the other. Before a plasma is created, the air isn't conductive, so not a lot of charges are transferred from one pin to the other. So usually a plasma is a very cascading effect. So you'll see it kind of build up, and then as soon as it becomes conductive, all the charges jump from one pin to the other. So this is the same reason why lightning occurs. You can get it so there's a steady plasma if you don't let that buildup occur, and you just have a steady transfer right at the boundary of when electrons start getting ripped from the nitrogen and oxygen molecules. So let's see if we can get that to happen. Ow! I just got shocked. So there's a pretty steady plasma in between now. That's not even sparking now. The air is conductive in between and just transferring electrons directly. That's a steady plasma arc in between the two there. Okay, another thing you can do with your high voltage generator now, I just took out the batteries because I just shocked myself pretty good. It really hurt my hand. So I don't accidentally push this button while I'm messing with these wires. Is you can hook two nails on the end and make yourself a little taser. Okay, so wrap the wire around the nail here. Okay, and then I'm going to tape these on like that. Hey, now you got yourself a taser. So, here's the thing. If you make one of these, be very careful. This is a 3,000 volt taser. Will really mess you up. Okay, now I'm gonna test it out on my arm. Okay, here's my taser. Oh, gosh. Holy cow, that gives you a good jolt. I just did it on my arm, but I'll do it on an apple here so you can kind of see. So when I touch yourself with it, even though the current is really only going from, when I touch my arm with it just a little bit, the current's really only going from here to here. But what it does is it's painful throughout your whole body. It triggers a lot of spasms through your whole body, a lot of muscle reactions because it causes a lot of your nerves to fire because those ion channels just open up from this small little area. Because I've always wondered with a taser, I mean, the current's only going from there to there, but it really does hurt all over. It feels like your whole body gets shocked. So there you go, homemade taser. I really do want to give a warning with this though. This is 3,000 volts, very powerful. If you make one of these, be very careful with it. I would recommend only experimenting on fruit. Even though I've shocked myself with it here, if you shock somebody with a heart condition, it could very well kill them. A lot of times cops have mistakenly killed people by tasering them. So be very careful if you do make one of these. It's actually quite easy to make though, just from a fly zapper. So hope you learned a little bit. I'll see you next time. Guys, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you next time.